This is Between Hooksets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the fishing crew.
I suppose you didn't have any hook sets tonight with the weather you got going on over there.
No, none for like 3 or 4 days. And I decided I needed to give a little bit of a break anyway. But have you noticed that my last few hook sets have been finessey with like I'm drinking tea or something?
You kind of getting a little prissy on us there, bud.
Yeah, well, I better grow up a little bit. Anyway, kind of fun. I want to pop this up quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That was a big fish. Oh, my. That thing spread around Facebook and got shared a million times. Dan Spangler from Berkeley, thank you. He sent that to me and said, hey, you want to put this on social media? I'm like, yes, I do.
Yeah, what a gorgeous fish. It would have been state record if Pazur wouldn't have caught his 17-13. But, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he's fished a lot up there, and he thinks that Pazur's record will hold at least for another year. He said he thinks the big fish are done for the year. Still catching some.
Right. Oh,
but
yeah.
The big ones are not as prevalent. And although he did say he thinks the herring are dying off, which is not a good thing for those big fish. But he also told me his live well was plump full of schmelt. And he said the schmelt numbers are insane up there.
That's good.
Yeah. And usually from what I remember from the biologist stuff, the fishery meetings, if the schmelt come back, the herring go down because the schmelt eat the herring fry.
Oh, okay.
So
it's part of the ecosystem, I guess, right?
Yep. All part of the ecosystem.
All right, fantastic. Well, let's get to it because we're going to have a solid half hour here of what I'm excited for, the world famous Fish House Parade. So Stephanie Mollet joins us from Aitkin, Minnesota. So now my mom tried to tell me how to pronounce it, Aitkin, and I'm like Atkin, and it's Aitkin, right? Is the T kind of silent?
It's Aitkin. Yep, it is Aitkin, Minnesota. That is the way to say it.
Yeah, so I'm just going to remember Rhett Aitkin. That's it. The country singer Rhett Aitkin. It's Aitkin, and just leave the T out of it.
I think that's Rhett Atkin, isn't it? I think it's Rhett Atkins.
Rhett Aitkin, Rhett Atkins. You know what?
Anyway.
Stop! You're confusing.
Now you're going to be very confused.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going with Rhett Aitkin. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that because that's the way I'll remember it. But I was going to go to Iowa, to the Iowa Ice Fishing Show at Oak Hill in Milford. So that's just in that Okoboji area. And then I saw the world famous Fish House Parade. And I decided, nope, 180. I got to figure this thing out. I got to go see it. And then I reached out to you guys. You got back to us. And here you are tonight. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to know that you're coming, that you saw it. Just being that you're all the way in South Dakota to begin with, and that you're driving up here for the Fish House Parade is great in itself.
Go ahead, explain this Fish House Parade. And since 1991, I'm sitting in a fish house right now. Like, that is my podcast studio, is the Team Lodge Fish House, and I've never heard of this thing.
So it's been going on since 1991. And the biggest goal for it was to try to get businesses, to get people coming in. Black Friday, the nostalgia that we have with Black Friday, camping out all night long outside those big box stores, and then trying to get those best deals. This was created to bring people into town and keep them in town for that Black Friday and support our local businesses. That's really how it started. And it was just the community coming together and doing something great and everybody having a great time. We received a bunch of pictures the other day, and they were just like a bunch of Polaroids, and it just showed how much fun everybody had doing the Fish House Parade. And
check out these.
It's crazy.
Yeah, isn't this amazing? Because I think Kurt and I were under the assumption that it was just an entire parade of fish houses, and that it wasn't a bunch of floats and different things. I mean, there's so many different types of floats I love this one, in the parade, and I'll hold some of the photos back. But some of these pictures go back a long, long way, but what a neat way to spend a Friday.
Oh, yeah, it's a perfect way to spend a Friday, especially because it's the day after Thanksgiving. So you're spending all that time with your family, you're cooped up in the house. What's not a better way to get out of the house and have a good time going and checking out some vintage snowmobiles, having some drinks, watching a parade, and just having a good time with your family, and you can get away from them for a little bit.
It's an action-packed day here. Look at the schedule. There's a ton here. Hang on, I thought about those that are hard to see. Zip in a little bit there. I guess you could do the Fish House 5K if you want to walk, run it. There's an ice hole hop. The ice hole hop. Now I'm guessing there's no ice, right? So maybe that one.
No, there is no ice right now. We are getting snow. We do have snow right now coming in. And so there's no ice. Now, the ice hole hop isn't necessarily, it's something new. We're just starting it this year. What it is that you can go to different businesses, meet with the businesses, talk with them, and get amazing deals, play some fun games, and then they sign off on a card and you get entered in for some great prizes. So it's a way to get people to meet our businesses, meet the community, and just get the word out for all the great things that we have going on in Aitkin.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that idea. I guess I'll partake. Is there going to be will there be a hot chocolate stand somewhere where I can get a Minnesota hot chocolate or
a little peppermint schnapps in there?
Right on.
I'm sure there will be one somewhere. We actually have what's called the sip and stroll. So what it is people can stroll down the streets, visit the different bars, check out different stores all at the same time. And I know for a fact that there are quite a few hot chocolate bars that are going to be going on. We have businesses that are doing pizza by the slice. There's free soup. So up in Minnesota, wild rice is something that's huge here. Everybody loves wild rice. And so a lot of places are breaking out the wild rice soup. And let me tell you, it's delicious.
There better be some hot dishes. There better be some hot dishes on this thing. It wouldn't be
I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, let me pop this up again real quick here because there's so much stuff. And talk about the Vintage Snowmobile show from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's actually put on by our Mille Lacs Trails and then Aitkin Snow Drifters. So they're nonprofits that really maintain and work on our different trails that we have going on in Aitkin County. It's great. They bring out a bunch of vintage snowmobiles. They have little areas for kids to come in. They get their own little s'more sticks and they can go over the campfire and do s'mores. There's the vintage snowmobiles. There's just going to be so much stuff that's going to be happening over there. And it's great because it really brings in people and keeps them down in that area. And they can just have a great time walking around and checking out a lot of cool stuff.
It seems like they come in droves then. Sorry, Kurt. So talk about this a little bit. Is this some type of a show that they're doing or?
So the Minnesota St. Paul Vulcans, what they are is they're a nonprofit and they do the St. Paul Street Carnival. It's their winter carnival. So it's something that's really big in St. Paul. The Vulcans, they go around and they talk to the different people that are out there in the community. And it's essentially like its own brotherhood. And for the day, they bring people in and kind of introduce them into the club for the day. It's something that's really interesting. I would really encourage people. It's like the history on it is so long to even try to go through it. So I encourage people, if they are curious about the Minnesota Vulcans, go and check them out because they just bring so much energy to any event that they go to.
And it looks like the event, it is an entire day. You're sun up to sundown kind of, sort of.
Well, yeah. Well, especially when the sun's going down as soon as it is up here right now. I would say, yes, we're out. We have volunteers that are out there as early as 7 in the morning. Then we have people that are planning on being out till about 4 or 5. But then those businesses, they're like all of our food businesses, they're going to be open later because there's just so much stuff to do. And there's going to be so many people in town that we want to make sure everybody can see how great Aitkin is.
So how many floats are roughly in this parade a year?
Great question. So the way that what ends up happening is a lot of the people come the day of the parade to register floats, and it ends up being a lot of community. So this is actually my first year even seeing the Fish House Parade. I didn't move to Minnesota until December. So I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to just be pleasantly surprised with what we end up having coming through. I know that we have 3 great categories for the parade floats, and each category can win a $200 prize. So we have Fantastic Fish House, which is the most creative fish house. We have Rock the Float, which is the most energetic performance. And then we have the coolest kids in town. And that's specifically geared towards like youth participation. So any of our youth groups, wrestling, dance team, anything along those lines, we want to recognize them for putting that effort to really be out in the community and having people see them.
Do you have horses?
We had horses last year, but my understanding is we will not have horses this year. So there will not be horses this year. They can be a little bit messy, is what I heard.
Yep, road apples. It's kind of hard when you're trying to do this. It's kind of hard to do the the van skating, or what do they call that, Kurt? There's a thing in my head there.
Van surfing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, van.
I mean, just something completely different. You know, the ice probably isn't ready, especially this year's not ready for us to be on. So to get your fish houses and any kind of float, it looks like. I mean, it looks like a little bit of everything, and the full community gets behind it. And what a unique event to have. I mean, so like, do you guys have a parade of lights in town, or does this kind of take the place of parade of lights?
This pretty much takes the place of a parade of lights. The best part about it is that now, even though we don't have ice on the ground, now is when the ground is starting to freeze, snow is starting to hit the ground. So people are getting out their ice castles, they're getting out their ice houses, and they're making sure that they're ready for the season. And so this is a perfect excuse to get those ice castles ready and out on the road, making sure that your tires are set, and maybe the mice haven't visited as much as they should have.
Hey, we don't call them ice castles here. We call them lodges.
That's
see, that's the difference with South Dakota.
Yep, that's the difference between South Dakota and North Dakota. So is there loud Christmas music playing everywhere? And it just, I'm guessing they're just, I read up to 3,000 people to show up.
Yeah, so that's what we expect for people coming into town, is about 3,000. There's Christmas music that plays through our downtown speakers. That starts pretty much right after Thanksgiving to begin with. But one of the best parts about it, as long as it's after Thanksgiving, that's the best part. Okay. I'm a big turkey fan. I'm a huge stuffing fan. So you can't start too much too early, because the stuffing has to have its shine.
I allow it the Christmas Day or Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then it's done. Christmas music, it goes for too long. Like, it starts in October, it feels like it's not Christmas. Like, Halloween hasn't even hit, Veterans Day, there's so many more holidays before Christmas. I guess I'm a Scrooge in that aspect. I tell my wife we can't put a Christmas tree up until I would prefer Christmas Day, but she does not allow that.
This morning was the first snow that we've really had on the ground. It's not really sticking most places, but I have a 3-year-old, and the first thing he said was, "I'm so excited for Christmas, and I can't wait to get presents." I was like, it's a little early for that, bud. We're a little bit ahead of things.
Yeah, but it's that first snow, though. So I got excited. I played a Christmas song on my radio show this morning for the first time. When you popped into the studio, I had Lee Bryce Single Bells on, and I looked over and Stephanie's here, and I'm kind of singing to it, doing a little paperwork.
You were jamming out.
Yeah, I was just a little. I wasn't singing, was I? Because I'm not a very good singer.
We won't talk about it.
Okay, thank you very much. But yeah, Lee Bryce, Single Bells, by the way. If you're single for Christmas, check that song out. I would sing it, but then we might have some sort of copyright issue, I guess, because there's no music in this show, and they keep telling us we're playing this song and that song, and that's impossible. So, anyway.
Yeah, so a whole day of festival, like festivities, and I mean, what times everything start?
So everything starts as early as 8 in the morning. So that's when we have our Fish House 5K. And the 5K just goes through the city. It's a fun run for people to have a great time, get together. We have a meet and greet with Santa Claus, and it's free for the kids to come, sit down, take pictures, talk to Santa Claus, just have a good time with him. And in the same place, we actually have the Aitkin Friends of the Arts is hosting a craft and bake sale. So they are going to have essentially their own Santa's workshop within the building. And it's just going to be a fun time for parents and kids to go and stroll, get some ideas for the holidays. I mean, it's really, there's just so much, like the picture, how everything is so small. Let me tell you, I worked really hard to fit as much as I could on there to begin with, but I won't complain about it because I love seeing our community come together and just having so many great events. We have stuff happening all throughout the town. There's the landing is having free soup after the parade, and they're not even in the downtown area, which is great because I love being able to support our local businesses, and I love seeing people being able to go to those businesses to support them.
You guys are just north of Mille Lacs, what, 10, 15 miles, something like that?
Yep, about 15 miles. So it's if you are a walleye fisherman, it's a place that a lot of people like to go. There's a lot of fun reefs inside of there to go and check things out. And I know this year they have a limit though. Minnesota's big on their limits for their walleyes, and they have a limit for 2 on Mille Lacs currently.
So it's up to 2 because it was down to 1 for a while.
Yeah, it just change now? I'm trying to remember how it goes. I might even have it on my phone if I
July. In July, I believe it changed to so where you could keep 2, and then they kept it going for this winter season. So that's great. Everybody's happy about that. Nobody wants to only have 1 walleye.
No, matter of fact, I've got this little piece of news for my In Through the Outdoors news coming up next Friday. The Friday that I'll be there visiting you guys. Mille Lacs regulations are set. The Minnesota State licensed ice anglers are able to keep 2 walleye, 18 to 20 inches long, 1 18 to 20, and 1 longer than 28, December 1st through February 23rd. So new regs coming on in a little over a week.
Well, and the great thing about like Aitkin is there's Mille Lacs, which is a huge lake. It is gigantic. But then Aitkin itself in Aitkin County has a little over 460 lakes. So there's a lot of good ones. Even me, less than half a mile from my house, I have a great lake that people come to go fishing on. And essentially, it's like a hop, skip, and a stone. You see lakes everywhere up here. And it's great because there's always somewhere fun to go.
Brainerd's not far away from me either, is it? That would be northwest of you?
Yep. It's only about, I'd say, well, for me, it's about 30 minutes. Aitkin, yeah, it's 30 minutes from Aitkin as well.
Okay, so I mean, if there's things to see in Brainerd, you could make the circle there and then head back on down to Minneapolis. I don't know if Eden Prairie is doing their Shields Ice Fest. Is that this weekend or next weekend? Anyway, you coordinate that stuff and make yourself a trip, and you can do like I'm going to do. I'm going to leave home on Thursday, and Friday morning I'll be there. I don't know what time I'm going to be there. I'm going to have to study the schedule because it looks like a ton of fun with the ice hole hop and going to all the different businesses and getting punched. And I told my brother, I said, well, I'm going to go for the parade, and then I'll probably come home, but I might be there a little bit longer than I expected because it looks like it's going to be an all-day affair.
Yeah, it's honestly, it really is. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on. Being able to do the sip and stroll is great. All the different businesses that are coming together, and people just visiting and in the town. And then not too far from us, Crosby's a great town, has a lot of great food inside of it. So we have a lot of stuff around us. Aitkin is amazing in itself. My husband and I ended up deciding to choose it as a place to kind of settle down because it wasn't just in perfect proximity to so many different things.
Oh yeah, no doubt. A little bit of outdoor heaven there. When I looked at this, I thought, well, there are other festivals and other things going on, and people have their parade of lights and they have all those fun things. Like, wait a minute. This world famous fish house parade. So do you know the backstory on how it became the world famous fish house parade?
Yes. So it ended up becoming world famous because I believe it was a chamber director at the time. She just had so many amazing connections within the community and within television. And so we ended up getting a bunch of different businesses and TV shows coming in. We had HGTV at one point come and do a float. I believe Fox did. Comedy Central was here one time, and I guess they were throwing hot dogs at people. So it's I contacted them. I hope
he's
if they
begging
come,
for that
I
to
will be
happen.
so happy.
He's begging for them to throw hot dogs at him. I guarantee it. Like you'll see him shoving kids out of the way, stiff arming people if somebody's throwing hot dogs. I promise you.
Okay, I heard this and I was probably too excited about it. I was like hot dogs. I'm hearing you right? And they're like, yes, like actual hot dogs. I was like, that's amazing. I want to see that. So of course, immediately I reached out to Comedy Central to say, hey, do you guys want to come? Because we'd love to have you.
Right.
We'll provide the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, some big old bar S hot dogs. Yeah, but you could hurt someone with a big old bar S. But I will wait. I might bring a pack of hot dogs just for fun, but I don't know. End up eating half of them, maybe something like that. I want to pop this graphic up real quick before I forget about it, because this will give people just a quick overview of what the whole day is like with the parade and the sip and stroll, craft fairs, Santa Claus, ice hole hop, the 5K run walk, the vintage snowmobile thing. I think that kind of excites me. Do you know how far back some of those snowmobiles are going to go? Are we going to see the old Johnson and obviously some old Polaris and Bombardier, Skidoo stuff?
That's a great question. I saw a little bit of it last year. They go back pretty far. There's some pretty cool stuff that they end up bringing out. And everybody that's part of these groups, they just take so much pride in what they're bringing, and so they're amazing to talk about and talk to because they just have so much knowledge, and it's really fun to kind of get the ins and outs on different things.
Jason, I want a full live video of you running the 5K in a vintage snowmobile suit.
Right. I think I probably have a vintage Skidoo snowmobile suit. Now it's my mother's
around your waist.
Right. Yeah. My dad's is long gone, and I don't know that I'd fit in it because I'm a bigger man than he was. And I'm certainly bigger than my mom, but if I leave the legs open, I might be able to squeeze in it. But we used to snowmobile. We lived in Foston, Minnesota for a short time. Just a teeny tiny short time. And I remember snowmobiling around there, and then we ended up moving to North Dakota. But what a fun opportunity for people to take part in. People are welcome from everywhere, right?
Oh yeah, of course. We would love to see people come from all over. Just it's a great way to get it out how great Aitkin is, how much fun we can have. I know that there's going to be tons of music going on that day. We have Mike and Jan Cherry are going to be singing at the Ripple Center. And then I believe Friends of the Arts is planning. We have something called the Terrace. So Aitkin's really been working on kind of upping their downtown. And so we have our Friends of the Arts. They work to make this amazing outside venue for music. And so I think they're planning on doing something. And I'm excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I think I am too, to be completely honest with you. I'm really curious about the entire weekend. If you're going to show up, you might want to pick up a souvenir. It looks like this is a long sleeve t-shirt. Maybe you have those and others. Are there other souvenirs that people can pick up and bring home as a memento of the Fish House Parade?
So for the Fish House Parade specifically, I know we have Adventure North and Shorts Plus. That's who made these amazing t-shirts to begin with. Casey does a great job with her designs. And so she put together the t-shirts for the chamber. And then I know she is planning on also selling beanies. So you can get beanies or you can get t-shirts. There might be some other things that are coming around that for the Fish House Parade. Those are the things I know about. Now there's a ton of stuff relating to Aitkin itself. So a lot of our businesses, we have some great restaurants and some really cool stores. And so they really cater to the people coming in and visiting, but they also cater to the people that are living around. So you'll be able to find something if you want a souvenir to help you remind you of the day.
It's pretty easy to get there too, right?
I'm sorry?
It's pretty easy to get to Aitkin. I mean, it's easy to find. And then is it going to be easy to find the parade? And
oh yeah, it's on the main street. So you go into Aitkin, and Aitkin is a cross section between two different highways. So we have 169 and 210. So our downtown area is right in the middle of those. So the parade itself is you drive into town, you're not going to miss it. If you're coming in around 1 o'clock, the parade will be happening and you'll be able to see some cool things happen.
Awesome. I guess I could.
You make
ahead,
sure you
Bert.
have the routes marked for the 5K so you can find him passed out on the shoreline.
Say now. Careful. I'm not going to have that much hot chocolate. No. Careful.
I want to watch you run. I want a full live to watch you run this 5K and your snowmobiles do it. Like, come on.
You don't want to watch Forrest run.
You can walk it. Walking is allowed too. We allow everybody from all capabilities to take part in the 5K.
Well, I don't know that I'll be there that early. I'm popping this up again real quick just so folks can see that Fish House 5K starts at 8 o'clock. So registration at 8, the race at 9 o'clock. And I know there are probably some people who will come from other towns, other states, and partake in that because that's what people do, right? When they come to these things, it's part of they get the souvenir T-shirt. I'm guessing there's a T-shirt.
Yep. So they get the Fish House Parade T-shirt as well. So we're doing things a little bit differently this year. Typically, the only way you could get a T-shirt for the Fish House Parade was by participating in the 5K. We wanted to make it a little bit more available for everybody else. So if you want to purchase a T-shirt, we also made sure not to go crazy with the cost. So it's only $15. So it's something that's affordable and it's great to just kind of get the word out and how fun of a day it is. I mean, the design, I'm a person, I really enjoy animals with sunglasses. I have a thing for animals and sunglasses, I guess. So I reached out to Casey at Shirts Plus and I was like, it's got to be a fish wearing sunglasses coming out of an ice bowl. I was like, can you make that? Can you make that?
I didn't look close enough at it because I was just putting everything together and throwing it up on StreamYard. And now that you say it, I was looking at Fish Parade. I love that idea. That is a fantastic graphic. That's a good idea. The only thing that would be better is if it had a hot dog in its mouth. Oh, that'd be a ton of fun. So again, we're getting close. I told you about a half an hour. We're getting to about 27 minutes here. So let's just kind of put a wrap on it because this has been a ton of fun. We appreciate you coming on and telling us all about it, inviting us to Aitkin, Minnesota to check out the world famous Fish House Parade. But, just kind of put a bow on this for us. It starts Friday morning and it runs throughout the day if you want to be there and you can come. So give us the whole invitation.
Yeah, so starts Friday morning. The parade itself is at 1 p.m. It's in Aitkin, Minnesota. It's going to be a blast. There's going to be so many fun things to do. We have the sip and stroll, the vintage snowmobile display, craft and vendor shows, and the 5K. So there's just a lot of fun stuff to do. If you want to enter a float into the parade, you don't have to go crazy to have a float in the parade. It's about really being a part of the community and being part of something fun. And so that's really what we're pushing for. We want to see the community involved in all the fun things we have going on.
I love it. So next year when I talk Kurt into coming, because this is going to be so cool, he can walk in the parade with flippers on and goggles and then that little floaty thing around his waist with the little, I don't know, dragon or whatever it is. He's welcome to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I even have a fish costume if you'd be interested in wearing a fish costume. Mm-hmm.
I'll do that right after you run the 5K. And how is the Aitkin Medical Facility if he runs a 5K? We got to know that. Like, we need to know that.
Let me tell you, we have an amazing medical facility. They just opened up. They just had their grand opening for their surgery center at Riverwood. It's beautiful. It is nice. So, should you need surgery, let me tell you, Jason, you're set because you'll be in primo accommodations.
I don't want to have any surgery. I don't want to have a stent. Maybe they could give me a little nitroglycerin if I get a little bit of the angina or something there, but I don't plan on having any health emergencies whatsoever. But good to know. Thank you very much. Well, we're excited for the weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun there. November 29th. For those that are looking for something to do there on Black Friday, I'm not a shopper. I'm all about single bells. By the way, go check that Lee Bryce song out because it's really cool. I like it a lot. But it looks like a ton of fun, and I'm very
unless
excited.
there's a tackle store there, then he'll be shopping.
Oh, yeah,
There's
is there a tackle store? I should ask that. Is there somewhere I can buy tackle?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We have a bunch of tackle stores in the area.
Perfect.
Are they on your punch card? Because he will not get out of them.
Oh, maybe I'll have to reach out to a couple of them now. Maybe I should get them on there.
Not a bad idea, because I do like to spend a lot of time and money at the tackle store. I don't know what it is. It's an obsession, I guess, or an addiction or something of that nature. So looking forward to your weekend there that Friday. Are there other things going on Saturday and Sunday? If people want to come and maybe make a weekend of it, they could get a motel and hang out for the weekend?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not positive about a lot of things happening. I know that the Moose Lodge has a meat raffle on Saturday that day. So have you guys ever been to a meat raffle?
Oh yeah, I've been doing
Okay.
that raffle.
See, and coming from South Dakota, I had never been to a meat raffle. I had never done pull tabs. I didn't even know what they were. And
Really?
I won on my first times doing them, and now I love them. So meat raffles, essentially, you buy tickets for a raffle, and you get to go up to a case of meat and pick out some meat, and I just have a great time. And it's fun finding what's in there and all the great food that we have. So many different businesses that work towards having great meals up here. We have, like, for example, for the Fish House Parade, we have a Fish House Parade raffle tickets. And one of them is Paul Beck's Wild Brats. Like, they have these amazing brats. And it's one of the prizes is you get $350 towards going over to Paul Beck's and getting some of their brats. And they are great wild rice brats.
Fabulous. So the wildlife, when you talk wild rice, you're talking wild rice like chicken wild rice and all these different type of wild rice soups?
Yeah, so wild rice, what it is it's like so in Minnesota specifically, any Minnesota native can go and harvest wild rice. It's hard. It's not something it's a very time-consuming process. And so it's something that a lot of people really put effort into, but also appreciate the effort that's been put into it. And it tastes delicious. You can do so many great things with it. And we have businesses, I know Block North is going to be doing some. I think the Beanery might have something going on. The Landing has their wild rice. So there's a lot of fun soups happening. And soups, when it's cold outside, especially when you're hitting in the 20s and stuff, and you've been walking around all day, it's nice to get a nice cup of soup.
I agree. Do I have to bring my own soup spoon though? I like the big one.
If you want a big one, I would bring your own. Yeah, if you're planning for that, you just got to bring the big mug. Maybe they'll give you a discount if you have a big mug.
Yeah, there you go. I've got a big fish mug. I should bring that with me. The tail's the handle. Yeah, I may have to do that. Let me pop up the Polaroid here real quick before we say goodbye, just so folks can see some of the. If they're Polaroids, they're obviously old. And if you look at the vehicles in at least one or two of the pictures, you could tell they got to go back to the late. I don't know. It's somebody's driving maybe an old vehicle there, because I want to say it looks like a 68 something, but it started in 1991, so it's not like it's that far back.
91 was a long time ago at this point.
It was. I moved here. I moved to Brookings, South Dakota in 1991, and I moved here. I didn't have wrinkles. So anyway. Stephanie, thank you very much. It's been great to have you on the show. Appreciate it. I can't wait to meet you in person on Friday the 29th. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and all, and we'll see you on Friday, November 29th, and hopefully we'll find some other friends to show up as well.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. And thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a real blast.
Appreciate it. Thank you much.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
Take care.